Alright, so this week we're going to talk about entering into a permanent relationship and what can you ethically keep hidden when you're going into that relationship. What types of information are we ethically obligated to reveal? I'd like to begin by talking about communication is going to exist on a continuum. If we remember from this week's reading in the textbook, we have to first begin the relationship. Um, Certain items can be kept hidden from each other. You will most likely begin on that continuum as casual friends, or sometimes some of us begin with work colleagues or patient-doctor privileges, occasionally teacher-doctor, teacher-students as well lately in the news here. Um, so if we begin as casual friends, we got to remember that we're going to communicate some things. We don't need to necessarily lay all our past life on the line just as friends. You just want to put enough out there basically just to get to know each other, become comfortable with each other. But you've got to remember the messages that you're sending when you're communicating as friends. It's not only verbal voice, it's going to be um, how nonverbal cues. You know, as you're talking to that other person, you got to remember what your face is showing and emotions you're showing, and the tone of your voice has a lot to do with it as well. One example of some information you might want to withhold as casual friends on that continuum is past experiences in your previous relationships. You don't want to be sitting there talking to your potential person you want to spend the rest of your life with about how great the vacation was to Mexico or something like that. You want to keep those experiences to yourself. You know, keep them personal at first. And as you move down that continuum level, those experiences can be shared with each other. You know, and ultimately, if you guys move into the long-time lovers side of the continuum, secrets need to be revealed. Those experiences with past relationships need to be brought to the table. You know, bring those out. Share them with each other. But first, you got to gain the trust of the other person and the relationship before sharing important things about yourself. Plus, you got to be able to trust the other person, not only just gaining their trust, but that as well. You don't want any surprises in a long-term relationship. You want to make sure that no surprises equals a healthy relationship. You want to develop a relationship that's going to be long-standing. To do that, you need to understand what kind of relationship you have. Just like the textbook was talking about symmetrical relationships, two people are going to mirror each other. They use the example as an aggressive person going to have that same kind of relationship with the other person. Both of you being aggressive isn't really going to be too long-standing. You want to be able to, or if it's a complementary relationship, one person may be aggressive, but the other person may be timid and compassionate. So they're going to complement each other, maybe balance each other out. Part of what you need to do is determine what kind of relationship are you in. Do you have the exact same kind of personality and temperament as your potential mate? Or do you want to have somebody that's going to complement you? You know, figure out where you are in your relationship and fill that role. Fill the role in that relationship. It is important to remember why you're communicating as well. You're going to help each other. You're going to help the other person realize that this relationship is what you want and what is the best for both of you. You want to learn more about each other. You want to be able to let that other person learn as much as they can about you. You want to relate to each other. Not only relating to their feelings, but let them relate to you. You know, open yourself up. Push and give situations here in all these forms of communication. Influence the other person that they're making the right choice. Help them see that you're making the right choice. Most importantly, you need to convince the other person you are the person to have fun and enjoy the rest of their life with. You want to be able to just enjoy life with them. You know, it's not fun really to go through life by yourself. More or less end it as well the same way. So, like I said, most relationships, especially permanent, long-standing romantic relationships, push-give situation. You got to give some, you got to push back. They push back, you got to give some as well. It's a fun relationship when it actually works out.